Man, oh man, oh man. Yes, I just got back. What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Bro, I just got back from seeing Spider-Man No Way Home. And I'm telling you, this movie, this is gonna be a non-spoiler review, but this movie is fire. Okay, so let's get something out the way first. As I was saying, this is a non-spoiler review, so I won't be spoiling anything. I might give you little nods and hints, but I won't like straight out just say or this. I won't. I'm not straight out going. I'm not gonna say none of that. So with that being said, since I'm not going to spoil anything, and everybody wants to know what's going on with this movie. Is this movie worth going to see? Is this movie got this? Do they got this, that, and that? Do they got the two dudes that we want to see in this movie? Do they? What's going on? And the answer is, I'm not going to tell you, and I don't want you guys in the comments to say it. So, as a YouTuber, when you guys make comments, you probably know this because you probably see more. You probably see the upper echelons of YouTubers say this at one point. When you make a comment, us as the YouTube creators, we get to see that comment. So when you make a comment and hit reply or hit whatever, and you post your comment, we automatically get to see it in like a little it's like a little thing that pops up. And we get to see just a list of everybody who make a comment in the video, and we get reply to it, do all that type of stuff. With that being said, if you make a comment and that spoils the movie, because I've seen the movie, so if you say something I know that would happen in the movie, your comment will be deleted and you will be banned from the channel. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. The synopsis reads, with Spider-Man's identity now revealed, our friendly neighborhood web slinger is unmasked and no longer able to separate his normal life as Peter Parker from the high stakes of being a superhero. When Peter asks for help from Doctor Strange, the stakes become even more dangerous, forcing him to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man. Alright, so for what we already know, this movie picks up immediately where Far From Home left off, with Mysterio revealing the identity of Spider-Man and MJ and Peter Parker in New York dealing with it. And you know how Far From Home ended with Peter Parker going, "What the?" And it basically picks up right there, but instead of like going, "What the?" and then the credits roll. It was like that was like one of the first little funny little things that happened was when you see him and he goes, "What the?" and you hear a car horn go, "Burn!" It's like right in the middle of him cussing. About him to get ready to say, he go, "Burn!" And that's like, I think that's like the first time in the Spider-Man movie, in the this little recurring gag that they have since the first, of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, we get to see, we had to get that whole scene get to play out of them going, "What the?" And it actually, but this time, it's some noise in the background of the movie that causes them to, that cause to beep out the cuss word. But yeah, so now you got MJ and them. They run through they swing into the. They swing in. MJ was still on the ground. He swings. He gets her. They got to fight through the crowd of people. Things happen. People are asking them questions. They trying to get out of there as fast as they can. And from there, you get to see what the consequence. We get to see that, I should put it this way: we see the consequence and the benefit of people knowing who Peter Parker truly is. The identity that Spider-Man is really Peter Parker, and it divides people. You got the people who believe Peter Parker when his side of the story and events from Far From Home, Because remember, at the end of Far From Home, they even told you that at that moment where Peter Parker's identity is revealed to the world, it's been like it was like a couple of weeks. It's been like a couple. It was like a couple of. I want to say it was like a couple of weeks, like a week or two from when that happens, and that's basically like when that ended on Far From Home is actually the start of No Way Home. Because that's basically when like I said, that's where the movie starts. It starts right when the other movie ended, and we get to see him. Like I said, then we get to see the benefits and the negatives. The consequences, the benefits of people knowing it divides the people into who believe Mysterio, who believe Peter, and then we get because of the overwhelming consequence that this is having on them. And you will see what it is. You will see what it is. The consequences, it weighs on Peter, and this is what leads to that scene when you in the trailers you see Peter. He looks up and he see that toy magician, and he gets the idea to go to Doctor Strange. That's that basically leads into the overwhelming consequences leads to that scene when he sees the little toy magician and to him going to visit Doctor Strange. There's actually a funny reason why it's snowing in the Sanctum Sanctorum. That was another one of the little good spots where it's like it's snowing and you just got everybody talking whoa. Like, everybody go, oh, dang it. Like, and it's funny. You actually get to see there's actually a payoff for Doctor Strange. Well, not a payoff, but you get to see. I guess this is a consequence of him being gone for 5 years. You get to see what's going on. You get to get a peek at what's going on in the world of Doctor Strange. Everybody got their own movie and their own problems. And in this movie, they actually reveal to you another consequence of Infinity War and Endgame, where being gone for 5 years, how they did with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, how they basically in the WandaVision, how they showed you the consequence of being gone for 5 years and coming back. We get a peek at what's the consequence for Doctor Strange being gone for 5 years and coming back. And this is where Peter asks for help. This is where they do the spell, and pretty much Peter botches the spell, like we see in the trailers. Peter did botch the spell, but the explanation. What they don't show you, obviously, in the trailer, where I won't spoil is what the botch actually did. And we of course we know you saying, well, we already know what it did. It brought the other villains. There, yeah, but there's a specific reason. There's actually it's not just cut and dry. Why? Not just he botched the spell. Now all the other villains come there. There's a reason that botched spell is pulling the villains here. And he kind of alludes to it in the trailer. So if you want to know what I mean, go back and watch that first trailer, or watch any trailer when he's talking about how he botched the spell. He kind of alludes to what I'm talking about. But there's a underlying specific reason that makes you go, okay, now it makes sense what he's talking about in the trailer. And now I understand it wasn't just as simple as him, doing what he did. So the spell is botched, and that's when you get everybody get their own time to shine. Well, some people do. Some villains do, and some villains appearance is a double appearance. Like you get we know you already know like Dr. Octopus or Green Goblin is together. Like there's other villains that come together and they Dr. Octopus and Green Goblin's appearances together. We already know that from the trailers. Because if you've seen the trailer, you know that both Dr. Octopus and Green Goblin's appearance happens on the same bridge. So some villains have their own appearance. I think Jamie Foxx got a solo appearance, and I've so much I can't remember I can remember if Sandman and the Lizard came in by themselves. But yeah, everybody gets their own time to shine. Actually, you know what? I do, but I won't spoil it. I just remembered. I just remembered two villains that actually did come in at the same time. Um, but the uniqueness is that this is Peter Parker's first time interacting with them. This is like our 100th time. You know, if you rewatch all the other Spider-Man movies a lot, this is like your 100th times being acquainted with them. But the uniqueness is that we get to see this Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, interact with the villains and learn their origin story. And what cool is the other villains get to meet each other and learn, like the villains who are not from that universe. Like you got Doctor Octopus and Green Goblin. They learning about Electro and and the Lizard. And then you got Sandman. Sandman. He's the villain that knows the other two's history, but he gets to learn. He gets to tell his story to the other his own universe villains and the other villains from the other universe. So you get to see that cool interaction with Peter Parker and them. And it basically, from this point, once the villains start hitting, that's when this movie it hits on all notes, and it gets you, and man, and you're like, okay, this movie it's just getting better and better and better and better and better as it goes on. And this movie gives you what you want. Everything, I'll put it this way: whoever you want, if the people that you wanted to see this movie, or that you was hoping, because of the little hints and the little hints about certain people coming into this movie, I won't tell you. I won't tell you if it's a payoff or not. But what I will say, you get everything you want. You get everything you want. Everything. 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 Don't go to Google. Don't go to Google. Cause Google, you don't want to do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't go to Google. Do not Google anything about Spider-Man Far From Home, because you will get spoiled. But you get everything that you want in this movie and more. You get there's this movie, like one of the things that this movie is like people crossing over into this universe, and so we get to see and you get to see that in spades. The movie goes from the light-hearted Tom Holland movie into the serious Sam Raimi's and Andrew Garfield's movie. Like they kind of this movie blends the themes of because they bring in the villains. Because they bringing in the villains from these different Spider-Man movies, they also bring in they kind of theme and feel to them. And you actually, like, it's cool, like you get little hints to their movie, like when Electro appears, you get his theme. They do his little they do his little theme song. They do everybody get their own little hinty themes in there. Everybody who's the villain, like, don't worry, everybody who played the villain and they respect those Spider-Man movies return. Like, don't, like, there's, if you thought that maybe, Sandman and the Lizard, they just there, but they don't have no lines, they don't say nothing, they just roaring and no, they're respective actors who played them in the movie are in there. The dude who played Dr. Connors from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, he does return, and he returns as they do the voice and everything for the Lizard, and same with Sandman. So this is how everybody is their character. So for as far as what I can confirm, that everybody, that's what you do know. Yes, these are the actual people from their actual respective Spider-Man movies. These villains are the actual villains from their respective Spider-Man movies. yeah, from there it's just it goes from that to a movie about redemption. Did you see my wink? It's a movie about redemption, and for everyone, a movie about redemption. There is some sadness. There is some sadness in this movie. It's the usual Peter Parker sadness. There is some sadness in this movie, and there's a scene. There's a scene that they almost get you. They almost get you. You gonna know. You gonna know what I mean. You gonna know what I mean because it's a scene where you like, oh come on, don't do that because I know it's coming because they forgetting about it. They forgetting about it. They're having a conversation and they forgetting about it. Then it's like, oh my god, and then it's like, oh thank God. So there's a scene that they try to get you, but it's all good. Um, yeah, this leads into just an awesome set piece where action, redemption, and accountability, accepting accountability, and doing what's right and doing what's necessary to save the world. There are two post-credit scenes. There's a well, I should say there's a mid credit scene, and then there's a post credit scene. I won't tell you what the post. Obviously won't tell you what it is. The mid credit scene is a continuation of the mid credit scene is a continuation of another mid credit scene. And it's a setup for the future, and the post credit scene is obviously another setup for the future, and have some what if implications. So I want to see how can I end this video. Was there things I did not like about this movie? The jokes were hit and miss for me. Like it was like some of the jokes were, some of them was funny. I'm not gonna say they wasn't. Some of them was funny, and some of them was just like some of them made you go, oh, okay, I like that. That was funny, and some of them was just like that was I guess it was supposed to be funny. So it was kind of hit and miss jokes. Like one of the good jokes I will say that is one that we do know is the one where Zendaya, when they talk, what we see in the trailers when Zendaya's like, there is a couple of magic words I know that you could use, that kind of starts with the word please. When they talk, when he's telling them to Scooby Doo this crap, that was a good joke scene because, and the Marvel, speaking of which, Marvel got us. Like, and y'all, we all suspect this right now that the trailers be altered. Marvel got us. Yes, Marvel did get us. But like the reason why I bring it up because that scene is actually altered. It is a weird alter because that scene is altered and it's not like okay they altered it so we don't see who was there with them. Is what's altered is just a word. And the word that's altered is crap. Crap. They actually, from what I could tell, they actually shot that scene and said crap, but the crap was only used. When he said please Scooby, when he said so Scooby Doo this crap, and he said and when he said please, then was there get on he like please Scooby Doo this crap. That scene is altered, and the only thing they altered is just the word crap. Because he doesn't say crap, he actually cuss. And the cuss word he used starts with an S. So he instead of saying please, he said so Scooby Doo this crap. He said Scooby Doo this S. I don't want to cuss and get in trouble with YouTube, but yeah, he said Scooby Doo this S. And today is like she's and that's what that's what it leads into the joke. It's more funnier when they actually use the cuss word because she's like, there's actually your fault and blah 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 that you screwed up the spell and everything. So I actually know a couple of magic words that starts with please, and he's impressed by her, how just boldness that's talk to him like that. So he's just like, please Scooby Doo this S. But yeah, there's some scenes in the movie that's altered. And what there's two scenes that's altered and one scene that's edited so we don't see something. But yeah, that's Marvel. But the jokes was hit and miss. But when the jokes do, get going in a way that's gonna make you, that's when we get to the good, not the good parts I want to say, but the juicy. Ooh, yes, this was what I've been waiting for parts. That's when the jokes are starting to get good. And it was very good. Like Peter Parker has some good jokes. Um, um, I want to say like yeah. So the jokes were just hit and miss. I don't think there was really anything like I love the visuals. I love the costumes. There is a new costume. I won't tell you where you see it, but there is a new costume. There's some. I can't. The reason and one of the reasons why I can't tell you why is because I can't tell you why. I can't even tell you why I can't tell you why. I can tell you it's a reason for the new costume. I put it that way. There is a new costume, mid credit and a post credit scene. Man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have nothing. I don't think. I think that was just it. I think that was the little hit and miss jokes. For me, I think that was. I think that was yeah. I think that was it. I think it was the hit and miss jokes. All the villains got their time to shine in a way where that was respectful to them, but in a way where you knew they're not gonna get much screen time because we've been here with them already. So yeah, it was that the only thing was just the jokes. It was just little hit and miss jokes that was like. It's the only reason why I mentioned it because they did it so much. It was like, oh, I gotta mention this because that was one of the things that kind of stuck in my head was like as a negative. It was like it's a little hit and miss jokes, but the positives outweigh the negative because for me that was like the only negative. Everything else was positive. I loved the movie. I loved the visual effects, the acting, the payoffs. There's a lot of payoffs. The acting, the visual effects, everything, the emotional tug that you get to see. There's an emotional scene in there, and it's part of course with the Spider-Man universe. Both comic and movies. But yeah, we get to see that we get to see evolution in Peter Parker. We get to see this is a great movie. This was a great movie. Final verdict. All right, we here. Final verdict for this movie because this movie was so good. I usually do 10. 1 out of 10. I'm gonna do 1 out of 20 just for this movie. Of this movie only 1 out of 20. I might do it. For a different movie. If a movie is ever this good. If I've ever seen another movie this good, probably for The Matrix. But this movie gets from a scale of 1 to 20. This movie is a perfect 20. So in essence, I'm giving it a 10. Giving it a 10. 10 out of 10 big ups, or I should say specifically for this movie, 20 out of 20 big ups. This movie was a perfect masterpiece. Buying it day one when it comes out on DVD. I have to have it. This movie was good, and you will enjoy this movie. But let me know in the comments if you seen the movie without spoiling it. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the movie without spoiling it. And if you enjoyed this movie, just let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this review, then hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. And if you enjoyed this review so much that you want to support the channel, remember guys, all you got to do is hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, become part of the tribe, become part of this tribal family I'm trying to build here. And as always, hit that post notification button so you get notified when I drop videos because you don't want to miss when I drop videos. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go anywhere because I got a review for The Flash and Raw coming up after this. Peace.